Good evening, shooters and gun enthusiasts. So good to have you all back, and Happy New Year, and hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. It has been a very busy time over Christmas for the shooting industry by the looks of it. Got a few stories here and articles, some very interesting, and a couple of ones that may affect hunters down the line in the next couple of years. So before we start, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And please share it. Let's try and get this out. I know it's been a while since we have done one, but we are going to try and do them a bit more regularly this year. Things have just been absolutely hectic lately. So we will do our best to keep this up a bit more regularly. So guys, we shall bring our friend Jason in. Wherever he is. Here we go. Good evening, Jason.
What, you've kicked me out already, have you?
Yes, it's been that long. I'm trying to figure out how to use the program again.
Yes, how is everyone? Good to be here again. Back again. Probably feels like, when was the last one we did? Probably think mid-December,
week before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it a week before Christmas? Yeah.
Yeah, it feels that long.
And we promised we were going to do a New Year's one, but we didn't because we just ran out of time. Basically, you went away, and and I was on my first times in 30 years in the trade. I've actually had 3 weeks off. So
you've been working crazy. I mean, I used to hear from Aaron 3 times a day. Now it's like once every few days because he's actually got to work for a change and actually do something. So
the business has gone off big time. So
what'd you get up to? Your families for Christmas? What'd you get up to over Christmas?
Yeah, saw the family. I designed and built some furniture, as you guys can see on my other website, Instagram page and YouTube channel. So been building a bit of furniture and hopefully be able to sell it, I hope. And that's been basically it, and just relaxing around the house. Didn't really go anywhere because we're actually in a bit of a heat wave again here in Queensland. It's absolutely horrid up here.
Yeah,
it's really, really bad.
Ashley brings up a good point here. He says, can't we all just win lotto, mate? I'm going to start playing again. I used to play just once a week. I think, God, please just let me win just once. But I don't think I'm going to win, man. But yeah, when you go on holidays and you actually come back and then you go back to work, I'm not saying it's depressing or anything, but it's certainly not as good as when you're not working. But I was down there I went to see my parents in Port Macquarie. So I was up there for about a week and a half, just relaxing and enjoying myself. From there, I came back home for a couple of days, then did about a week or just on 2 weeks in Malakuta again. So I went down in enemy territory, guys. I was down in Malakuta, Victoria, which is a nice place. So it was kind of interesting. It was good, just a bit of fishing, a bit of relaxing, walking around, riding a few bikes and, lots of fishing, eating a lot of flatheads. So, other than that, man, it definitely you've almost got to come back and stay at home for a couple of days just because you've got to recover from your holiday. It's almost like a holiday recovering from a holiday. So,
yeah, exactly. And Ben says here, after 3 weeks off, it got very hard to wake up at 5 a.m. all over again. 5 a.m. That'd be nice. That's a nice sleeping. I'm driving to work by 5 a.m.
Yeah, man. I was on holidays getting up at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then it turned into about 8:25, 8:30, and then unless we were going fishing, of course, and then then it just got to about 9 o'clock. I said, no, we can't start getting up later than this. This is ridiculous. So, but anyway, it was hopefully everyone had a good holiday. You got out doing a bit of fishing. It's been, as you said, it's been bloody hot down here in Sydney. Just the last more humid than anything. It's been crazy. Like Australia Day was like 95% humidity, but we've got a lot of regulars in here, which is good. I was talking to our buddy Southern Star Review, Steve up there. Check out his channel. I was talking to him the other day. Yeah.
Yep. And there's Neil, and this is something that you've been getting up me every single day, Jason. Neil, Aaron, can you make your other videos
I keep telling him
on your other channel? Well, I've got over 20 projects filmed. It's just a matter of being able to get time to sit down at a computer. I can't stand computers. I absolutely despise editing, and I cannot stand sitting it. This is the longest I ever sit in front of a screen is when I do these podcasts with Jason and talk to you guys. But I'm trying to. I'm going to get on a routine and do like half an hour of editing a day, and not get up from the computer and just make sure I do it. So I've got a lot of big projects coming and videos. Yeah, I've got about 20 videos filmed, so I just got to actually put them together. But yeah, just getting up to new subscribers. So guys, if you do want to see what else I do, get over to Building Stuff Australia. The link's down in the description here. And
hey, there's no point
subscribe
sending
to
them
the
over
channel.
there if you're not actually going to like edit a bloody video, is it? You know?
Well, there's a video every day. I put up shorts every single day of the projects I'm doing.
I put up shorts. No one's interested in short. Well, they are, but not as much as the long format. Well, I don't know. I don't pretend.
I don't know. I was getting 300 views on the long format and 54,000 on the shorts.
Yeah, well, those goddamn TikTok shorts, man. I tell you. But anyway, let's go and we'll read out some of the people. Sorry. Let's go participants. Now, if I miss you, it's not my fault. This is just what YouTube shows me. Anyway, all right, Andrew. We've got Andrew Markle, Andy. Oh, our buddy's back. Andy 123477, aka Daniel Andrews, after his win in, what would you call that? You'd call that the election in Victoria in November.
Okay.
So he's back. Archie Kaboom, Ashley Horn, Ben. Wicklesma. Is it Wicklesma? I'm going to go with that, man. I'm sorry if it's not. I hate getting people's names wrong. Who else? We got Blunt Machete, Brandon Fairley, who's a new shooter. Good to see Brandon back. Cliff Lee, Colin Penfold, Foxy86, Matt Cato, who had to work through Christmas, the poor bugger. Matt Rumsey, Mr. Wonderful, Neil H, Rod Fitzpatrick, Salty Skippy. Who else we got here? We've got Sean White. We've got Skull and Crossbones at 65. Wow, there's welcome. Southern Star Review, a.k.a. Steve. Check out his channel. Stan, Long Range Pensioner Man, Steven Savick, Tracer123, Tube User, C1. Now, sorry if anyone else is commenting, that's all YouTube is showing me at the moment. I know there's probably more, but that's what YouTube's showing me. So I'm going to flick back to the other screen. If I do see any more, I will let people know, and I'll try and read them out if I can. I'm sure people will be joining over the night as well. And, we've got what have we got? We've got the New South Wales election coming up. Again, I hate to call it. And I know Mr. Wonderful's there. He's not going to like me saying this. The polls are out. And it really isn't looking good for the Liberal Party. 56-44. That means a trouncing against the Liberal Party in New South Wales from Labor. And like I said, guys, I said this about, how long ago? 6 months, a year ago. I said once all these elections play out, if they lose New South Wales, that only leaves Tasmania. And I'm not sure when the Tasmanian election is. Sure, someone can let me know in the comments. So the Liberal Party seems to be hell-bent on destroying their own brand and their own party. That means the whole country will be run by Labor.
Yeah, we're going to be we will be a communist country. We'll be next to Russia, like Russia 2.0, a commie, filthy, union-run party. And you look at what that scumbag Albo just did. He's put up alcohol another 4%. So he's just going to kill the guy's just going to kill the actual entire alcohol market because he's trying to scam so much money out of all this Wu flu crap. So he wants all his money back. And gee, what a stink that is after this week as well with Pfizer and their criminal activities.
I mean,
allegedly, and they reckon it's going to be. So in the last few months, it's gone up 7%, I think, for alcohol. I think we're the highest tax alcohol country in the world now, or one of the highest tax countries. $12 for a beer at a pub. Who the hell's going to go? All he's going to do is drive alcohol underground, just like in the Prohibition days. Just like cigarettes are so expensive, you can buy chop anywhere now for a fraction of the price, for $30 of what would cost you $100 in the shops. That's all he's going to do is just drive all this underground and more illegal activity and more criminal activity in Australia by boosting all the prices.
That's right. Andrew said June 2025 is the next election in Tassie. So there is some hope, which I don't like the Liberal Party or Labor. You guys know that, but
can't stand any of them at all.
Can't stand them. But June 2025, so they've at least got 2.5 years. So of having still one state being Liberal. I mean, eventually it'll turn back to Liberal at some stage, I'm sure, which is again also disappointing for both these major parties. But we could be some troubling roads ahead for the next 2 to 3 years, potentially longer. I mean, normally in state governments, you do have your swing states, South Australia sort of thing. Occasionally they did go to Liberal, but then it went back to Labor. Liberal Party's been in New South Wales here fairly long. Before that, there was a long tenure of Labor. So if they get in New South Wales, it most likely will probably be, a long tenure. Same as sort of Queensland. Not looking good, obviously. Are they going to rebrand themselves and go back to their conservative values? Which I don't think they will. Or are they going to continue to go to the left and continue to get smashed by Labor? Yeah, beggars belief. But anyway.
We're a total woke country, no matter what side of politics they're on. Every party is basically just a woke held hostage, the gun to the head by the Rainbow Mafia. So, total woke. This country is,
Mr.
gone.
Wonderful does make a good point. He goes, getting caught wearing a Nazi uniform doesn't help. That was Dominic Perrottet. But I'm like, he's the Premier of New South Wales. But I'm like, really? Mate, I dressed up as, when we were younger, sailors. I dressed up as a bloody Egyptian person with a big, you know what I mean? It's just what you did growing up. I mean, they've got to apologise for wearing a bloody historic uniform 20 years later. I mean, that's how weak as piss this country's got. Everything's banned, fireworks, some girls. I said this on my page the other day on Facebook, guns, nunchucks, fireworks, some sort of knives, certain types of swords, whatever the shit is. Like, literally everything's banned. Like, can this country get any worse than it is now? I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to live here, to be honest. When you go overseas and you get all these freedoms, then you come here and it's just, people love their proposed freedom. Government takes their rights. Australians are fist pumping when the government takes away their rights. But anyway.
It's all these bloody city people, like inner cities, like Melbourne. Melbourne's probably the biggest cesspit of Australia. It's just like definitely the biggest wokest cesspit there is.
I don't know. WA's up there. WA's up there. Probably not as bad as Melbourne, but
I don't even class WA as a part of Australia.
Anyone from WA, have you got something to say about Aaron's comments about WA?
I'm sorry for the good people who watch the show in WA, but really, come on, you're not really a part of Australia.
Salty Skippy says, great. So Australia is going to be, mainland is going to be full of communist. Oh, well, yeah. But listen, this is why I said the Liberal Party's done it to themselves. That's why they've been wiped out in Western Australia. It's why they got wiped out after one election in South Australia. It's why they're about to be wiped out in New South Wales, most likely, if the polls stay as they are. Just, and you hear them after the elections on election night, and they just talk about more quotas for women and moving further to the left. And I'm like, mate, you're about to lose your final state or your second last state you've got in the whole country. What are you doing? It's not working. Shit, man. It doesn't take. Mate, I could tell a bunch of, morons and they'd understand it. But, all these people that get paid big money just don't seem to understand it. So,
yeah, Matt goes, not all of Melbourne. Well, I class Melbourne as the inner city with the blue-headed butt bunches sipping their pumpkin lattes, those rainbow freaks running around. Well, that sort of part of Melbourne, which is normally the inner city sort of cesspit, no morals. That's the part I class as the asshole of Australia.
Anyway, what do you do, man? I guess this is what it is. Just ride it out, do what you can. Get out there, enjoy the outdoors, go fishing and shoot. At least while we've got it, get out there and do it. I mean, I refuse to believe that anyone. I've been thinking about this over Christmas, just here and there, and it really isn't looking good for our rights, guys. That's for sure. That's why, again, whoever it is fighting for us, whether it's our organisations or our politicians, mate, enough talk. You've really just got to start getting some results or shut the hell up, one or the other, because it really is getting annoying just watching constantly everything be banned all the time and things getting worse and then them telling they're doing something. I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but we've got to start doing something to get some form of results because things are getting really bad at the moment. I can't see them only getting worse over the next couple of years.
Well, we're just being held hostage to the 1% minority of the society. You just look at all the woke crap that's coming out through this country, and you just read on the Facebook comments on these companies and woke people, and they're just absolutely giving it to them. But they just keep going and going. You look at the movie industry, how dead it is now, how Disney and that's lost $1.5 billion in 6 months from their streaming service because they've gone all woke. And they just don't learn. Like, this country won't learn. No one's interested in that. They don't want that identity politics rammed down their throat. We're not that sort of country. We're normal, decent people. We're not some weird fucking freaks.
Hey, it's funny even over Christmas or New Year's, like they ban fireworks. You know, we can't be trusted, and then everyone just crows. Oh yeah, but we can have the fireworks. We can have the New Year's Eve fireworks. We can do fireworks whenever we want. But the average person, oh no, you know. And there's big conventions over in the US for fireworks. One of the guys that I know quite well, Frank, he goes over to the US and goes to these massive fireworks industries. Now it's not really my cup of tea. I wouldn't mind throwing a few fireworks, but I think it'd be pretty fun. But you know, they have these big setups and stuff like that. So I said, never trust a government that wants to take away your rights, but then they want to do the same thing they're banning, man. Like, and Australians have got their fist pumping for it, excited that their rights have been taken away, man. Oh, mate, honestly, our soldiers would be rolling over in their graves.
Yeah, definitely. Like snowflake society, that's for sure.
Yeah, so where is it here? Hey, one sec. I got a good one here. So Tube user C1s. I love WA, but I hate politics. William says we're not all that bad in Victoria. Like I said, mate, Malakut and the East Gippsland, man, it's a wonderful place, man. There is some really nice places in Victoria, and as I know, the coastline of Western Australia looks. I've never been there, but I'm hearing and seeing photos and all the videos that I watch on the internet. It looks fantastic. The things you can do there. I would just avoid the great white sharks. I wouldn't probably get in the water too much over there, but I don't want to get get eaten by a shark. So.
No, that's definitely a downer on the day. I've had 3 close calls of great white sharks when I used to surf, and I will never go in the water again.
I might go just how it's maybe waist high. As long as there's people in front of me, maybe 20 or 30 people in front of me, they've got to go through all those people to get me. So I'll take my chances at that,
And when the water starts turning red, you jump out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You never be the furthest person out, man, because I'm sure that'd probably be the first target, possibly. I mean, but anyway, what do you do, man? Anyway, we've got a few things to talk about. Some people saying about the duck hunting as well. So have you got any comments about that? Let us know in the comments. That will be a
story coming up soon. We've got 4 stories here to rattle off, so we'll get straight into the first one.
Which one's that one? Which one?
It is about the defenseless family and the lady being killed. Here we go. So this happened in Brisbane. Man. Yeah, this has happened in Brisbane over Christmas on Boxing Day, I believe. The husband of the Queensland mother who died after alleged intrusion into the North Lakes home on Boxing Day has told of the terrifying event. Emma Lovell, 41, and her husband, 43, were stabbed at their home in North Brisbane after confronting 2 people at 11 p.m. I believe they were 17-year-old teenagers, I believe, and they were just already out on like bail let out by the Labor government. And Emma was treated by paramedics at the home and later died in hospital. Police said the Lovells were defending their home with 2 teenage daughters inside. How were they defending? Obviously, they couldn't have a firearm to defend themselves because the Greenies and the woke government have taken all that off us. And I'm pretty sure if they were allowed a firearm and they defended themselves, this wouldn't have happened. The poor lady would not have died, and the scumbags would probably be the ones on a slab. So it's just ridiculous. And that's another thing. Homeowners, gun owners have to lock their guns in the safe, of course, so they can't use them in self-defense. And if for some reason they ever did use it in self-defense, you being the victim will be the one being charged because you used your firearm in an emergency. And the way they get you, and I've heard, is that they say, well, how did you get to your safe, unlock it, then unlock the ammunition, then load the gun, and then confront the intruder? You could have just run away by then. So that's how they get you. If you have a door or a window, they do you because they reckon you could jump through the window or run out the door before anything escalates. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So,
see, and these kids are underage. They'll get some sentence. I mean, again, Palaszczuk doesn't care. She's sitting with security. she's just a disgrace. The whole party's a disgrace. They've let, youth crime get out of control, just like Albo's done in the Northern Territory. He's taken away the, what do they call it? The card where you can only buy certain things. So rape is up in the Northern Territory. Attacks and bashings and fights are up in the Northern Territory, all because he wants to give them free cash from taxpayers to spend on booze, alcohol, also booze and drugs. So, and he's had to race to the Northern Territory because heaven forbid if you give them a card where they can at least make it harder to be able to rort the money for booze and drugs, well, that's a good thing. And again, I think the government should be dictating where the money goes. The money's come from your taxpayer. You don't decide where it goes. It goes for shelter and food and for your kids. That's your number one, 2 to 3 priorities. Shouldn't be to buy booze and alcohol when you're on the back of taxpayers' money. And then guess what? Albo's up there freaking out because, mate, crime's out of control. Just like in, Queensland, youth crime's out of control. And they refuse to do a single goddamn thing about it, because they love, that's the thing, they love crime up there. The Labor Party love crime. It's the party of crime. That's what we'll call them. Labor Party, the party of crime.
Well, a scared society is an easily controlled society. Everyone thinks, oh, the police will defend us. Well, the police couldn't defend this poor lady and her husband in their home, could they? First line of defense is themselves. They had kids in the house. Jesus Christ, you can't just keep leaving people defenseless. And you read through the story, and it's actually pretty bad. They document what happened, and it's shocking. Like all these lefties and greenies, if they had an ounce of humanity, should be confronted before they start mouthing off about banning guns and self-defense. And same with the police, should have to listen to people like this and listen to their stories and see the photos of the incidences before they open their stinking trap and say, oh, no, defenseless, keep them defenseless, no guns to anybody. See and listen to the story, because I've talked to quite a few people of victims of crime, and it's absolutely horrific. And you've got to be an absolute mindless scumbag not to think that it is bad and you should be defenseless like these politicians and police think we should be.
Like I said, when they've got their own security, their own guns, their own people. I mean, I can't believe people have been allowed to be fooled by this. If they believe that people didn't need crime, regardless of whether she's a public figure or not, if you believe the populace is good, then you don't need any. You need unarmed security. Give them a couple of batons and some pepper spray. But we know that doesn't happen because, apparently their life is worth apparently more than yours, or unfortunately more than this young lady that's passed away. Now her husband's got to raise a couple of kids. These idiots will probably get off with maybe 1 to 2 years if they're lucky, mate. If Judge Selms was in there, Judge Jason, that might be a good TV show, mate. I would have no problem giving him 30 to 35 years in prison, mate. No problem at all. No. I couldn't care less.
Life without parole, natural life. That's it, or the death penalty.
None of this 1 to 2 years rubbish,
Nah, they should be tried as adults as well. 17, you're pretty much adult. 2 17-year-old males from Zilmer and Holland Park were charged with murder, attempted murder, and entering a dwelling with intent in company. The pair will remain behind bars until January. So we haven't heard anything else on the news about this. So it's 1st of February, whatever it is now. And they did not appear in the Brisbane Children's Court on Wednesday, but their lawyers sought to have the media removed from the court on the grounds it would be prejudicial in the case. Pretty ridiculous. So you ban all the media, so you can't see anybody.
Yeah. I mean, 35 years at 17, just say for an example, 45, 55. Yeah, no, not really long enough for me. Yeah, I would.
Never out.
That'd be at least a bare minimum. They're never out, or mate, you wouldn't be getting out to your mate. Even 60s, you'd have no hope of getting a job. You'd be living in poverty. And so that's what you deserve. I mean, at the end of the day, I think taking a life for a life is more than reasonable, and you just never get out of prison. I mean, you know what you were doing. This is intent to either commit murder, intent to do whatever, to enter someone's property. And, if it goes wrong, these are the decisions you make. You have to live by them, unfortunately, and you must be punished. And Steve makes a good point. Yes, 100%, mate. The judges here are a big problem. Absolutely. Just as corrupt as the police, the media and the government all in on. This is one big joke to these people. If you look at it, the police, the government, and the judges, mate, they're all in on this, tickling each other's backs, mate, scratching each other's backs, mate. Yeah, people think, like I said, when we, I think I've mentioned this before, Aaron, a bunch of times on the show, like when we had the, what's happened for the last 2 years, the big thing that we just went through and all that, right? People saying, oh, wait until the judges and the trials start. There aren't going to be any trials, man. The government gets away with it. When has the government in the last 30 years ever been held accountable? Yeah, they'll give you a few little wins around the edges, some minor wins around the edges to make it look like it's reasonable, make it look like, justice is being served. But, they're dead. But you would have seen, you remember that issue we saw in Queensland with that family where the police were killed and all that, right? If they were just normal people, they'd probably get a certain prison sentence. But because they killed police officers, they had to survive, they probably would have received double, if not triple, the sentence, no doubt. Because, again, the government puts a value on people's lives. Us general folk, well, we're right down the bottom. If you're a police officer, well, you're elevated above everybody else, and these judges make decisions, that
exactly
are in the. Who pays them? Who pays them? The government pays them. So, what do you think they're going to do? What the government wants?
Well, this gets even worse, Jason. They were released on bail, with the matters expected to be heard before a children's court. I'm sorry, 17-year-old who cold-blooded murdered someone and tried to kill someone else. You are not a child. You should be in the big. Never see the light of day. Should not be allowed out on bail. Anything to do with murder.
Hang on. I think it said there. It said later on Wednesday, QPS Assistant Commissioner said 2 other teenagers. So they must have probably been there, but they didn't. They were the ones that do it. Because if you scroll back up, I think they were refused bail. The other 2. So the main culp kept going up.
These
keep going up. I think it's higher.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah, there we go. Under that picture at the top there, the pair will remain behind bars until January.
Okay, sorry. But these other 2, they were a part of it all. They should be charged with murder as well because they were there, a part of the crime happening, and they shouldn't be out. Obviously, scumbags themselves, they should not be out.
I wonder how they ended up finding him. I wonder how they found him. Did we read that part or not in there?
I haven't read the whole thing. It's quite long.
The point is, innocent people dying, thuggery from these underage gangs. They need a good rocket up the arse, eh?
Oh, hell yeah. Yep. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, very sad news about the lady. And, she's from England. She hadn't been here all that long. So it came from one anti-gun society, which is crime through the roof in England. And knife crime is... the highest knife crime in the world, I believe now. They ban guns, and to Australia, and this is what happens. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're just letting criminals get away. I don't know what's so hard about being tough. I really don't. I mean, listen, there's some situations, certain crimes, you might, as soon as it comes to physical violence and killing someone, rape, and these sort of things, the sentences should get a lot more harsher. Someone steals a bit of money off someone, fraud, not great, obviously, definitely bad. But compared to these assault crimes where actual, bodily harm, that's when I think we need to start getting a lot tougher. I'm not saying, stealing is good and those sort of things, obviously, but I'm just saying crimes of a physical nature should attract much more heftier penalties.
Oh, exactly. And no bail whatsoever. No bail. Vegas AB said, can't imagine unarmed life. I can't see returning to Oz, sadly. Don't blame you. If I was living in Las Vegas and had access to self-defense and guns, I definitely would not be living in this country at all.
Sometimes I think we were born in the wrong country,
Oh, hell yeah, yeah.
Matt Cato makes a good point. He goes, a police horse is apparently more important than my life. Well, yeah, they saw that in I think it was the protest in Sydney where the guy pushed away, but the way they took the photo as if he was, hitting the horse. Who remembers that horse thing? And then, can you believe it? I couldn't believe this. On their Facebook page, they had a picture of the bloody horse inside the horse float, looking outside the horse float. I'm like, this can't be serious, man. This is they've got a picture of the horse in the horse float looking out the window on their Facebook page. I mean, really? And of course, the dumb Australians, as they are, just went, oh, the poor horse, oh, he was hitting the horse. Why would he hit the horse? Throw the book at him. I mean, mate, again, I'm not shocked. I'm really not. I get more upset about it than anything because I thought, how could Australians be so dumb? But anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this leads into another shooting on the Gold Coast. And actually, Jason didn't tell you, but where he was shot in the shopping centre, I actually built these shops here. So it was.
What was that? What was that? The shops where?
Down the Gold Coast where the shooting was. It's actually, you see the photos. I actually worked on those and and plastered and built the offices and that there. So here we go. The second one for the night. Manhunt after a teen injured in alleged shooting on the Gold Coast. So outside Red Rooter here. If you're not getting food poisoning, you're getting shot. A major manhunt is continuing across the Gold Coast this morning after a teenager was allegedly shot. Emergency crews were called to the Helensvale shopping centre at Sir John Overall Drive in Helensvale around 6:20 p.m. on Monday. Upon arrival, they found a 9-year-old man suffering serious injuries to his arm. Initial investigation indicated the man was standing in a car park when he suffered injuries consistent with a gunshot wound causing non-life-threatening injuries. He was treated at the scene. The police are appealing, and that's basically what it all said for here. But I did see another article that he pulled up. I'm pretty sure this is it. He pulled up and he was driving a stolen car, and another stolen car, and a Mercedes, I believe, pulled up and has an altercation, and he was shot. So basically, criminals shooting each other by the sounds of it. So a 16-year-old kid involved in a shooting, but guns are banned. How ridiculous! I don't think this has really led anywhere at all. This investigation, I haven't seen any follow-ups on this at all.
Yeah.
But so and people go, oh, we're so safe in Australia now in society. No, because the guns are banned. Well, here you go. Here's a 16-year-old kid's been shot.
Let's have a look. Yeah, just having a look. Red Rooster. Do you like eating Red Rooster?
Nope. Yeah.
And remember too, I was just looking at an article too, a very quick one. Who remembers when they had the protests in Victoria, and the police were spraying photographers, and I'm talking not just journalists from different, the ones that the Andrews government doesn't like Rebel News, for an example, just general people from normal large media establishments were pepper sprayed, thrown on the ground, and it was an Age article that said police go unpunished after pepper spraying and arresting photographers at anti-lockdown protests. And of course, guys, they investigated themselves, and as usual, they found no wrongdoing again, as per usual. I watched a lot of these ones outside the states. That you were doing that stuff to people, it'd be a $200,000, $400,000, $500,000 lawsuit payout for that type of behavior. But again, they investigate themselves. They never find any wrongdoing.
What happened to that police officer that picked up a guy in the train station or bus station and head slammed him into the cement?
I think he might be in a bit of trouble. But again, like I said, that's just one thing. I mean, the bigger they'll make it fluff. They'll fluff around the edges. Maybe one or two cops might get the arse if they're unlucky, according to them. For doing these types of acts, but that's just to fluff around the edges to make it look like it's a democracy and justice is being served. Well, we don't have a justice system here in Australia. We have a legal system. It's not a justice system. America has a justice system because people pay the price heavily when you do the wrong thing.
Yeah, and here you're guilty, and you got to make sure you got to prove that you're innocent. Unlike in the US, where you're innocent, and they have to prove that you are guilty.
And I've got a good one before we go on. A very good one. What happened in your home country of Kiwi land?
Oh, Horseface. Yeah,
Yeah.
walking away 6 months before the election, was she pushed or they had dirt on her, or she knew she's that unpopular. Apparently, she knew she wasn't going to win, so she wanted to get out before she was totally and utterly embarrassed again. So yeah, bit unclear exactly, but you just don't leave a high-paying job like that for no reason, do you?
Yeah. Mate, what a fall from grace, man. Remember 3-4 years ago, she was literally untouchable. Untouchable across the world, man. You know, old Cindy. Cindy could not do any
Mm,
wrong. What a fall from grace. I'm really happy
mm,
about that. Sucked in. The replacement
yeah,
isn't much better. Frankly, from what I've heard from him already, is a lot worse, to be honest. So they're obviously looking to lose. So thank God for that.
yeah,
Thank God for that. But I'd say what happened is her polls are in the toilet. Again,
and
what is it with Labor and crime? Youth crime in Kiwi land through the roof. Kiwi crime in Queensland through the roof. Northern Territory through the roof. Pretty much everywhere under a Labor government is through the roof.
oh,
Excuse me.
a banned society, a defensive society. There's always crime. You look at
Anyway,
countries. Look at countries even like I think oh, where was it? Czechoslovakia. They have concealed carry. Their crime's not too bad at all. Home invasions and that. The home invasion in all of America and the armed states is pretty much non-existent in a lot of
yeah,
small towns. But they just don't understand. It's just drilled into their heads. So
yeah.
we're
Southern,
going to be pretty much fucked if we come to if there is a war. Like Putin's making some serious noises the other day about he's prepared to start dropping nukes very soon. That's the end of it.
let's hope
What are we going
not.
to do? Yeah, no, he's full on. Yeah, if we're pushed enough and we think that you are going to attack Russia, we're going to start dropping nukes. Yeah,
Mm,
he's full on now. And what happens if we go to war? We're stuffed. We got an untrained rainbow mafia society who fucking turn up in their tutus, fluffing around little fairy dust. Uh, how are you going to ever train these sorts of people? They don't know they should stand or sit to take a piss. They just have no fucking idea. It's going to
yeah.
be absolutely ridiculous. Um,
Hey, Mr. Wonderful makes
if
a
we,
good point here. He says the new guy's worse. This is from New Zealand that replaced Jacinda Ardern. He basically said they're going to hunt down the thing. The people that haven't had the thing are going to be basically hunted down. You watch it. This shit's scary, man. If you're in New Zealand, this shit is scary, man. At least she was
yeah,
hiding that sort of thing, you know. But anyway, she's
no,
gone. Thank God.
she
You
was
know.
proud as punch that on that interview where she was laughing and saying, she's when the reporter said, "Oh, so you're going to separate your citizens and that," and she was laughing, going, "Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do, separate our
Mm,
citizens."
mm.
God, the chick was just evil, as if she was actually.
D40 said what it's been nearly 250 years and we're still convicts. And that brings up a previous one. I can't remember who it was. It was just got to remember his name. He brought up something similar. I'm just trying to have a look for it, but can't remember his name. I'm just scrolling up.
Here's Andrew. I have my hermit's hole probably for when the war kicks off. Crawling in my hole with a shotgun and a box of beer. Well, that's if you can afford a box of beer after the Labor government.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but hey, she's gone. Another one bites the dust. Joe Biden's a loser. He can barely talk. Trump's going to
Our
be back in
government.
2024. Let's see what happens. But then again, he's pro. You know what? So, but I guess these politicians, they've got to play the game, don't they? Because they want to be re-elected. So, even the most conservative ones have got to keep it under wraps because it's uncouth to say what you really believe, apparently. So, anyway,
You know,
is what
but
it is.
if Trump gets in again, he can't run a third time, so he's got
No.
nothing to lose. So he can go say what he wants and basically start going real hardcore, as in right wing values and decent moral values, because he's not going to get in again because you can't run for a third time. So once you're in for that second time, that's time to unleash and start cleaning up the country.
Anyway, next one is probably duck hunting in Victoria. That's been a big
no,
contention.
we'll do a funny one next time. Next one. Old.
So what's happening in? Oh, are you doing a different one first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good duck hunting last. It is Bang Bang Baldwin. So old Machine Gun Baldwin, who has killed more people with a gun than basically any gun owner in history. So old Baldwin here has now been charged.
We can't say in history because are you talking individuals killing people, or you say as a collective?
Yeah, legal gun owners.
Okay. So, well, they probably have at some stage, but he might be on par unless they killed more. You know what I mean? But anyway, I get what you're saying.
Killed more than most gun owners.
That's right. More than 99.9% of them. Let's put it that way.
So this pure anti-gun woke piece of human garbage here, Baldwin, old Bang Bang Baldwin, thought he was going to get away with literally manslaughter. Thought he was going to get away with it all, and started blaming everybody. It wasn't his fault. It was the gun's fault. It was everybody else's fault apart from the guy pointing the gun at people and didn't check it himself. So he, as everyone knows, he killed the cinematographer and shot the director in the arm. So now the Santa Fe District Attorney, Mary Carwick Outwitz, or whatever her name is, issued a statement announcing that the charges against Baldwin and Hannah Gomez Reed, or whatever her name is, the weird pink-headed freak who spent more time on her OnlyFans apparently than caring about gun safety. They're being charged with manslaughter, and I remember the sheriff saying,
"Hang on, she was the daughter of someone prominent and basically had no skills in really, being an armorer on set with what to do." I mean, as we know, Baldwin was anti-gun, and the loser ends up shooting someone. Like, what an idiot! The whole thing was a complete cock-up.
I believe her father was quite a well-respected armorer for the movies, but he was too busy to be able to do this movie. And
do you reckon it was because they had purple hair?
Yeah. So she'd already had two firearms mishaps on the set as well before this. And apparently Nicolas Cage refused to work around her as well. In an article, he said that she was waving guns around everywhere and was totally unprofessional. And Nicolas Cage lost the plot on a movie set that she was doing the firearms with and refused to ever work with her again. That was before this happened.
Hey, remember also too, they were out the back, wherever it was on set somewhere, bloody plinking and shooting cans as well.
Yeah, and obviously left live ammunition in it. Yeah, and left live ammunition in it apparently. So I remember the actual sheriff said, "No one's above the law. We've investigated Baldwin, and we think there is grounds for a manslaughter charge here, involuntary manslaughter, because it obviously was an accident. I'll give him that much. He didn't go out his way to do this. It was an accident, but he's holding a gun. He should have checked the gun." And they said before they actually charged him, they talked to several A-lister celebrities about what do they do on site when they actually have guns. What are the procedures? And it came back that none of that was done by Alec Baldwin at all. So they decided to move forward. So the charge is a fourth-degree felony punishable by 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine under New Mexico law.
He'll probably just get the $5,000 fine and,
Yeah, and move on.
Mr. Wonderful says diversity hire.
Yeah, exactly. And look where that gets you. But then I have heard other reports he could be facing up to 4 years in prison. So
don't forget, guys, if you're a Hollywood actor, you get special treatment. You don't go to prison for these things. We've seen that multiple times over the years. The more popular you are, Skull and Crossbones said Baldwin just has to go through the motions and will most likely get himself cleared. that should be interesting to see if that comes to. Matt Outdoors Adventures says the armourer looks like a gay vegan. Possibly, but you always know they're a bit weird when they're running around with purple hair.
Well, they were one of them. There's three of them have been charged as well. I think one of the producers, but I think he did a plea bargain. So I'm no lawyer whatsoever, so I don't give any legal advice. But to me, that wouldn't sound too good if he took a plea bargain, would it? It'd be sort of admitting something did go wrong, something wasn't right with the whole situation. So sort of admitting, yeah, the guilt if you take a plea bargain, don't you? And he got
Neil
6 months probation.
Jason, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Yeah, I never said that otherwise. I mean, I'm more about reckless using a gun out the back and people being completely reckless by leaving. Like, surely you'd be. First off, I wouldn't even be shooting whilst I was on a movie set for a start. No, secondly, I wouldn't be using the same guns that you'd use on set that you were shooting at the back. It's just a cock up of just absolute, craziness. Sorry, someone said the super chat. Sorry, yeah.
Got that one up here.
Yeah, sorry.
Our friend Brendan, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. I do really appreciate that. First one of the year as well. Thank you very much. I'm at work, so I won't be able to see that until I finish. But I'm currently working on a documentary right now discussing a topic of legalizing non-lethal for self-defense within Australia. I got over 100 responses so far. Send us basically through Instagram. Send us the details and we'll promote it for you, which will be pretty good. So fantastic stuff. And thank you so much for the super chat, the first one this year. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Cliff makes a good point. The civil case will be good to watch in that issue. Yeah, so how much are they going to have to pay out for wrongful death? Yeah, going to be a lot of money. Whoever, maybe insurance pays out. I don't know. I'm sure. Well, the movie didn't go ahead, so I'm sure that's already going to be quite considerable.
I think the husband settled with Baldwin out of court for something like that, and then he was going to end up. I heard the husband was going to be the producer on the movie, and they're going to finish the movie, but obviously not now. But they must have insurance for all this.
Well, but yeah, they've obviously whoever's financing it, who has financed it, obviously no doubt Baldwin's probably lost a fair bit of money. The movie didn't get finished as far as I'm aware, if I'm correct on that. So that's obviously not good either. A lot of money probably being lost here in general.
The armourer, Matt says, the armourer looks like a bloody vegan lesbian.
I already read that one. I already read that one.
Okay.
I tried to use the YouTube friendly comments so we don't get banned.
Oh no, we're already with the new algorithm of YouTube that came out 2 weeks ago. If you swear in any videos, you're stuffed now. So
Vegas AV said Baldwin had live ammo in his belt. Like, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Just this sort of, what a mate. Even the average. Don't forget, this guy was anti-gun, and he ends up shooting someone. What a complete moron! I just can't believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Colin brings up a good one too. Michael Diamond, who was an Olympic shooter, who was very, very, very good one of quite a number of gold medals, tried to get his license back through. That's a good point, Colin, and was knocked back also. But I mean, same thing, man. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but he's just had too many run-ins with the law, too many issues with alcohol, too many issues with,
it wasn't he caught
violence
driving
and stuff.
with his
violence.
Was he caught drink driving with his shotgun in the back seat or something?
Yeah, and violence and ex-partners or current partners, ex/ex-partners. I mean, you got to keep yourself away from that sort of stuff. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I say this. I've had some friends, and they're good friends. Some of them I still talk to. Some, because they're now out of the industry, I've sort of, just by faction of being in the industry that we're in, these guys were legends, right? Top blokes. They get with a woman. It doesn't work out. All of a sudden, they've lost half their money. This is some serious stuff. I know a couple of these in my immediate circle. They get an AVO against the blokes because the guys can't control their emotions when they're relationships breaking down, which you can somewhat understand. But if you've got a gun license, guys, you've got to be able to control yourself. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. It's going to be hard enough to hold on to it anyway, even if you don't say anything. And these guys have lost, honestly, their entire, hobbies, from firearms to, not being able to hunt on public land now because of certain things. They've had their houses taken from them that they've paid off that these women didn't pay any money for. So it's just madness. People got to learn to control themselves, guys. Like, I know when shit hits the fan, close your eyes, breathe to 5 or 10, and always control yourself. Again, obviously, same thing. Michael Diamond obviously wasn't able to control his behavior, which, I get it. You want to be angry. You're screaming on the inside, but always think of your sport and hobby. And again, once they've got something against you and they've already got you on some sort of issue, then you've now got a history. This is maybe an interesting one I'll bring up next week too in regards to some fishing related stuff, which also pisses me off. So, but maybe on the next show we'll bring that one up because I find it very interesting.
Yep. Yeah. I got something to say about that as well. It wasn't drink driving. He stopped. This is from Rod Fitzpatrick. He stopped at the pub, had 2 beers whilst his way home from the range, and still his shotgun in the boot. Yeah. Yeah, it's a sort of a sticky one, Yeah. Well,
I know. Okay, maybe drink driving, but I know he had. I'm pretty sure he had unsecured ammunition at the time. There was also issues. Mate, this is not the first time, Rod, that he's been in trouble, mate. He's been in trouble multiple times. So it's not a one-off. It's again, this is what I'm saying. They'll get you on one thing, whether it's an AVO, whether it's violence, store, whatever the minor issue is, they will get you on that. Then that way they'll just, he's got a history now. See, they've only got to get you on one thing. And then if something comes up again, well, he's got a history of this sort of stuff. He's got a history of bad behavior. This is what they do. So don't fall into the trap. Please don't fall into the trap.
But then you get the woman that just is way too common now, just making up lies and bullshit, and you lose your guns anyway with no evidence, nothing wrong. I know a guy that had that done to him. His missus, not even married, but been together from day one. She got drunk, didn't have a car license, drove off, called the cops, said that he'd beaten her up. He's got guns. The cops turn up. She rocks up, pissed as a fart, in the car with no license. Took his car and started sprouting off. The cops arrested him, took his guns, and then came back and she had no marks on it, no evidence of any violence. Even her daughter said, because he'd raised a daughter from a young age, it wasn't his, that he never ever touched the mother. The cops didn't care about that. They went to court, and the cops actually decided to change their tune, the cops that turned up that night, and said there was no evidence and we don't think he hit her or touched her, and he still didn't get his guns back. All pure lies. He then said, well, why isn't she getting done for drink driving in front of the police? Why didn't they arrest her in front of the police, having no car, didn't even own a car license? And they just said, that's not our problem. But she got off everything.
Yeah. I was going to say here, just got on Rod's point, it says Michael Diamond's gun license was banned after several convictions. They argued he's a fit and proper person, blah, blah, blah. Diamond had his Category A firearms license revoked in 2018 after he was found guilty of firearms and drink driving charges in Port Stephens in New South Wales in 2017. The police were called to domestic incidents involving the applicant 12 times between 2003 and 2021, the submission said. So, again, a history of, unfortunately, of bad behavior. Unfortunately, the hard work that he did as an Olympic shooter is probably down the toilet, unfortunately. It's good that he won. But, again, people just have to learn to control themselves. And they just grit your teeth, look up, close your eyes and smile, and then get to a safe place. But, I mean, get out of the current situation. Don't say or do anything. Deal with it later.
If the wife is making these, ditch her. Get away from her.
Or
No,
if
out the door.
it is the same woman, then it's obviously toxic over the last 17 years to have 12 domestic disputes being called in. So again, why would you continue with this again, madness? I don't know. Am I wrong, guys? Just seems stupid to me, you know.
There's another super chat from our friend Brandon Fairley. Thank you very much. With my survey so far, I have already gotten a majority of responses that are fully supportive of legalising non-lethal for self-defence within Australia. I'm hoping to spread some awareness on this. That is fantastic. And unfortunately, I think 99.9% of gun owners and probably level-headed, normal, non-blue head, pink head people would absolutely agree with that, even non-gun owners. But it's the woke government and the police that you have to actually have to convince, unfortunately.
Yeah, and West Covina Dodge, aka Pat. I don't want to be crude here, but don't put your dick in crazy. Absolutely, Pat, 100%. And then Neil H, Jason is always high on grass for old people. High on grass for old people. You mean marijuana? I don't take drugs, mate. I'm just happy and excited individual bringing you this awesome content.
Jason hardly even drinks.
Yeah. I'm as straight as they come, dude. Occasionally I'll have a couple of Summersby ciders, Apple to be precise. If anyone wants to buy me anything, Summersby apple cider. That's what you can buy me.
And he's a computer nerd.
Yeah. Well, I play a few games, a bit of Call of Duty. Nothing wrong with that. Glenn H said Diamond should take up archery. Don't put your dick in crazy, says Pat. That was a good one.
Yeah, and crazy. And horse chicks. Horse chicks are nutcases.
Yeah,
Stay well away from horse
ever
chicks.
Get with a horse chick. I will tell you that. Yeah. Do not get with a chick that owns horses. Nah.
My ex was a horse chick, and she was batshit crazy.
Never.
Absolute poison, revolting creature on this planet. And she was a mad horse thing. Oh, nah. Awful.
A tube user see when it says wasp spray is legal and will squirt 3 meters for the world. Don't do that. Just remember, if you're buying that, it's for wasp use only. Remember that.
What about AeroGuard? Because that hurts like a bastard. And most people, especially here, have AeroGuard in their bedroom because of mozzies at night.
Yeah. Jason AR15 says I'm gay, like meaning him. Well, if you are, mate, congratulations to you. We don't discriminate based on people's, Although I did post that 6'5" Creedmoor with the guy with the purple hair saying, the beautiful women were like 30.06 and 300 Win Mag, and then you had the purple-haired 6'5" Creedmoor meme on the page. That was crazy, but hey, funny. I guess we're all gay and happy in some sort of way, aren't we? You know what I mean? Let's just go with that.
Andy, AeroGuard and a lighter, weaponized AeroGuard. I don't think that would hold up too well in the courts.
Foxy's taking it to the gutter. He goes, "Why not? My experience with horse gals was amazing. She rode me like a bronco." Vegas AB says, "Lowell, we live on a ranch. I married a girl into horses, daughters too." Oh no, Vegas!
Oh no!
How long have you been together? Hey, listen, we're not saying all horse women are bad. Just some of them. The ones that I've ever dealt with, God, the horses will become before anything, man. You'd lose your house, and they'd rather still keep the horses than lose the house. Anyway, it's crazy, man.
Oh, and here's a funny thing that happened to Jason. And Matt brought it up.
Yeah.
Matt, how's the bunny busting trolls treating you, Jason? Still copping it? Yeah, so Jason put a video up on shooting bunnies and all the thuds and that came out, and just absolutely giving him absolute stick about.
Well, there wasn't a lot. Listen, hey, let me say what happened. What happened was, I don't know if it's this one. One of the bunny videos has had over 450,000 views on Facebook, on the Australian Hunting Podcast Facebook page. So I've been sharing a few of the rabbit hits, and of course, you get the traditionalists that'll come out. Oh, you're not eating them. Oh, you didn't use a 17 HMR. Oh, you should have used a 22 222. I would do this, I would do that. And it's like, I've always wondered this. Doesn't matter if it's the mowing stuff we do. It doesn't matter if it's the shooting stuff. It doesn't matter if it's Aaron's building stuff. All people always want to get on and say, well, I would have done this, I would have done that. But I'm not posting a video for really to hear about what someone else would do. That's fine. But I'm not really asking for that sort of information from people. I'm just here to, have a bit of fun, do a bit of pest control. So, and we do it all. Aaron's done it all. Sometimes you do pest control. Sometimes it's hunting for deer, which we do. Sometimes it's the bunny shooting. Sometimes it's, vermin control in sheds for pigeons or whatever it is that you're doing. There's all different types of hunting and pest control. So I've had a few people on there reporting my bunny busting reels, which is like the little shorts, like TikTok, sort of Instagram shorts, or whatever you want to call them. And it's just, I've had literally everyone I've posted has been covered up by Facebook because the whingers are crying. And I've literally gone from 41,000 followers to almost 60,000 now in the space of like the last 3.5 weeks. And there was one video about a guy blowing, remember that one, Aaron? He had it wasn't even my reel. He had the gun in the water and he shot it and the barrel blew off. And it got like, It wasn't even my reel. I just shared it. And on my page, it got like 21 million views. So I'm sure a lot of people came from that as well. So I can tell some of the people that have joined are definitely not hunters. So anyway, they're always whinging about 17 HMR, triple two. It's like, mate, dead is dead. Exactly. I'll shoot whatever I want to shoot. I don't need to take advice on why didn't I do this or, oh, that's $1 a shot. Like, what's the big? Just enjoy the content. Just enjoy it.
Exactly. Thank you, Jace, for the $2 super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for that, Jace. I thought it was quite funny because the starters, the apocalypse haven't started yet, so there's no reason to eat roadkill vermin rabbit to start off with. It's not the end of the world yet, and we still got supermarkets with better meat or go deer hunting. I just can't stand rabbit. To me, it's just roadkill vermin.
Hey, every time last week, when did I post that? Early last week, I think, or maybe mid to early last week at 50,000 followers. It's now 58,414. So it's up almost 20,000 probably maybe 3 weeks, even if that. Well, it's been since I came back from holidays. It wasn't going up then. So it's probably since about the 20th of January. It's only a couple of weeks, really, and it's gone up almost 20,000 people. Of course, a lot of people love it. They enjoy the content. You do get the traditionalists, Aaron, that, well, you didn't eat it, you didn't do this. But, I mean, I wasn't there for that. They're there for pest control. They want as many rabbits gone as possible. And Matt Cato might be happy to hear, my mate moved down to Wagga in New South Wales, which is not far from that property. So he's going to do a bit of scouting over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully next couple of months, the rabbit numbers have reformed on that property and we're going to make some more bunny busting videos. So on the YouTube channel, AHP Outdoors.
I might drive down and come with you. Lots of bunnies.
Well, mate, if you shoot that Remington Ultra Mag, you won't hit anything. So
yeah, I definitely won't because it hasn't got a stock on it right now. I'm actually going to make a stock for on the building channel. Of designing a stock. I'm going to hopefully make one or convert one into something real freaky. So I didn't see this new 20,000 subscribers you got on tonight's live stream, Jason.
Hey, what was that? Say again?
I didn't see this 20,000 new subscribers and followers you got coming over to the live stream tonight.
Well, it's our first one back. You got to have fun. I mean, not a lot of people watch live streams anyway, per se, in the shooting industry. So, yeah. But also, too, I've got one question for everyone. I'm not sure if Aaron has seen this. I think he has. But I want to get everyone's opinion in the comments. Who saw that video with the trout? Did anyone see that video with the trout? Do you know what I'm talking about? Now, I don't want to comment on something crude, but do you think Spiker is happy with the advertisement because she had a big Spiker hat on? Do you reckon they're happy with that sort of publicity? Let me know in the comments because this has gone everywhere. So I'm not sure if they're going to be happy with that type of advertising for their brand.
Thank you, Mr. Wonderful, for the super chat. Boys, have you seen the new TAC-12 Ceylon Arms put out a 1-minute video on YouTube? Would love your new thoughts on the
Cool.
new loading merch. I haven't seen it, sorry, but I will look it up. I do have a Ceylon Arms, an older one, and it is a fantastic shotgun. So no, I have not seen it, but I will look at it and we'll talk about it in the next.
Now, I'm seeing it one here, the
live
Sulon
stream.
Arms Taxosaurus, I don't know, pre-release demonstration. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of these new ones coming out too with, like the
Is it a
old
lever release?
Yeah, I mean, or push button release or lever release on the front grip of these shotguns. I know because I tried to sell one of my Dickinson straight pulls, and my good friend's a gun dealer, so I've just signed it over to him at the moment. He's trying to sell it, and we can literally get it's immaculate. They sell for like $1,200 now, and I literally cannot get a single goddamn. I can't get anything for it unless I basically give it away to a certain degree. I can't even get $500 for it.
But what is it?
Just a Dickinson T1000 straight pull shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Like immaculate condition, but I mean, you had the same Dickinson. I think you did a review on it, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, and, I couldn't. The barrel got stuck on. It was one of those ones you can swap the barrels out, and I couldn't get it off. Yeah.
Colin Penfold said, "I know what you mean. I think Spiker Marketing would be a little bit shocked."
Yeah.
Fishy,
and here's Religion is Poison. Thank you very much. Cheers. Keep it up, boys. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that.
Hey, listen, this is an interesting one. Listen, like, I'm not promoting this thing. Andrew Markle said they got charged yesterday. I'm like, listen, this is crude. It's dirty. It's just wrong to put something like this on the internet. But I mean, if the fish was dead, I wouldn't do this, right? I'm not going to defend it, but does it need charges? I mean, what would the charges be? If the animal was alive, I'd say, yeah, you could go for animal cruelty. I mean, it's just a fish, but the fish, I don't know. The fish have feelings, maybe, right? But if it's dead, I mean, what could you get done for? I mean, I don't even know what the law would be surrounding that. I mean, I'm not going to condone that sort of filthy behavior, but I mean, really, I just would have, give them a warning, say, please don't put that weird stuff on the internet, please.
Yeah.
All right. Matt Cato said it was alive, was it? Oh, I didn't. Well, I didn't tune in long enough to see if it was alive, to be honest, because I was like, it blew my mind.
Sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump into the final
funny.
story.
It was funny.
The final story. We could almost make an entire another YouTube live stream on this duck hunting fiasco instead of talking about it tonight.
Someone says apparently falls under bestiality, but not sure the actual charge is. Yeah, I mean, how did the fish die, said Christopher. Well, I don't know. You thought they would have knocked it on the head before they, normally if you leave them out of water long enough, within a couple of minutes, they pretty much die. So, but anyway, I just thought it was funny. Someone sent it to me. I said, what is this? Like, oh, and then I was just horrified, like probably most of us were. It was funny, though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, duck hunting, Victoria.
Duck
South
hunting,
Australia.
here we go. South Australia. Here we go. Yeah. South Australian Environment Minister has announced she will order a review into duck hunting. The duck hunting season is about to start. The review comes after reports that the state government of Victoria, the only other mainland state allowed recreational duck hunting, announced it was also reviewing duck hunting laws. There was an inquiry, a review at the 2018 and 2022 state elections. It's quite lengthy, this article, so it's on the ABC site, so you can Google it and find it. But basically, they just talk about Victoria is going to review at banning it, and if they do, they said, here's some freak here, a Greens member, pink-haired butt muncher thing. She looks like a bundle of laughs at a party, doesn't she? She wants. She's carrying on saying South Australian Upper House member Tammy Franks said duck hunting was no longer palatable in the community. Well, I tend to disagree because most people don't really care about it at all, and there's a lot of gun owners that actually enjoy duck hunting. It's only that, once again, the 1% pink-haired freaks like this are the only people that actually seem to care about it.
Yeah. Colin said
I
the
think
RSPCA is behind this. Yeah, but they kill more animals than anyone. They kill, what, 85, 90% of the animals that come in. So bit of a joke for these guys to be talking about,
Apparently on Thursdays, I slaughtered heaps and heaps of dogs every Thursday, I was told. I think in Victoria, if Victoria bans duck hunting, we will see a major urgent move in South Australia, she said. What we are dealing with as well, of course, being just over the border in many cases, is even more Victorians coming to South Australia for duck and quail hunting. I think it's something that we don't need to be encouraging tourism of. Well, it brings a lot of income into the government, duck hunting. All our country's broke, so why not try and make a bit of money? But these weirdos here, they have no idea on finances or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I want to hear people's interesting things in the comment. I said this before, I mean, is this just purely, what's the word I'm thinking of? A lot of bravado from the government pretending they're going to do something to appease the greenies. Is it seriously on the chopping block? Do you think we've only got a couple of years left? I think eventually, and I hate to say it, I don't want to say it, I hope not, but I think it is on borrowed time, unfortunately. It's sad because it's probably one of my favorite things to do is bird hunting and duck hunting when I only get the opportunity once a year, which I'm probably even lucky to be able to do when we help the rice farmers out, once a year because I live in Sydney. So it's just this whole thing sad. But this is as I said it earlier in the show. This is the chance for these guys in Parliament that are supposedly out there representing us and these organisations from Victoria to say, right, we're just not going to let this happen. And what are they going to do about it? I mean, the time for talking and pissing in the wind is over. If it goes, it's going to go. And then you'll find South Australia. I mean, I know groups of people down there, that's all they do is duck hunting. They wait for the duck hunting to roll around every year and they like going duck hunting. So let us know in the comments what you guys think.
Exactly. Cliff Lee, thank you so much. Sandpaper for your new stock. Aaron, thank you so much. I did have to buy some more sandpaper. Actually bought a new sander as well over Christmas. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, Cliff. Long-time supporter, lovely bloke. Yeah, very nice of you. Thank you very much.
I definitely do think it's
on borrowed time. And if one state gets rid of it, I think it won't be long after that the other state will follow. And then that will only leave Tasmania, won't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, ours was banned, mid-90s? I think mid-90s. Yours was pretty close to that too.
Yeah.
Mr. Wonderful said Andy is coming for your ducks, meaning Daniel Andrews. Duck hunting banned in Queensland, but everyone still hunts them in the bush, apparently. Okay, well, I wouldn't know about that. Matt Cato says Andrews will 100% ban duck hunting. Now that he's back in, he's got to keep the Greens happy. I agree to a certain degree, but he's also got an outright, majority. So I don't know. He's not really beholden to the Greens, but, we know Labor basically is the Greens. So I'm sure they're hand in hand and arm in arm. Salty Skippy, Australia, land of the ban.
Vegas says ducks overpopulate without hunting, no natural predators. Exactly.
Yeah. And I saw something too yesterday. Was that he's basically Andrews is saying stuff about the compliance of hunters. I mean, and they even said it was only about 14 infractions last year, which out of 26,000, 500 hunters or 27,000 hunters, that's not even a blip on the radar. So why you try and use any excuse? I mean, there should be a 20 bird bag limit for duck hunting this year. I mean, there's ducks everywhere. There's water everywhere. I mean, this is just, again, this is all just political. There's ducks in my bloody pool. There's ducks on the side of the road in every bit of goddamn water all across Australia. But apparently these GMA losers can't figure anything out. The government can't figure out what's real.
I've got about 50 of them in my dam right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. They're everywhere around Australia, but yet the government says, oh, no, we're going to try and start banning something again as per usual. Makes me sick again. Well, this is the time for the, the SSAAs and the field and games and the SFP in Victoria to just fucking stand up and say, we're just not going to have this. Otherwise they're useless. They don't serve any purpose. They don't serve any purpose if they can't stop a band going through. They serve no purpose at all.
I don't reckon any of these organisations serve any purpose. They all make these wild claims. You never really see any of them doing anything anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah. Sorry, Neil. Go.
William here. I personally don't think they will ban it yet. They say this every year. I think it's just what the hype around it to see what the public says. That's true to a certain point, but I do hate to say there will become a time, I think, where it only takes one accident or something like that to happen, and I think they'll jump all over it.
Yeah, and if you are going to go hunting ducks and that, try and go to the ones where those idiots with things are. Don't get involved in any confrontations. Take a camera. If you've got one, I know they sell them for a few $100. Those you can even buy a GoPro. Buy a secondhand GoPro. Put it on your head. Always be recording. Things like, I know it sucks, but it is what it is. They even sell those body cams that police wear now for $200 or $300 that go on your shirt, and you press the button and they start recording. Buy a secondhand GoPro. Always have your phone with you recording. If you're on the wetlands, have it on your head in one of those little head straps. That way, if something happens, you can just always confirm that you didn't do anything wrong. Nothing better than video, guys. Nothing better than having a video of what's happening, wherever you are.
Exactly. Choose 6.
Hey, one thing. Let me say one thing. Neil said, Jason, I was saying you cut grass for old people, not that I smoke grass. Sorry, man. Yeah. I thought you meant I was smoking marijuana. I was like, I don't do that. But I cut grass for old people. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tube says no hunting at all in WA. Is that true? I'm not too sure because, once again, WA is not really a part of Australia.
No hunting at all. Yeah, what? You mean ducks or you mean hunting of animals? I'm sure you can hunt foxes if you've got land access in WA, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't think hunting's banned in WA. Duck hunting, yeah, but I think, definitely duck hunting. Still do it in the Northern Territory with geese. There's a geese over there. And Sean makes a good point. He says NT still has hunting, duck hunting and geese. Sorry, there we go. No antis from what I've seen or heard exactly. Then Neil says wood ducks are actually geese and kill farm stock with poison in the water. I don't know what that means. But, yeah, wood ducks are a geese. You are 100% correct on that. When we normally go to the rice fields, there is a grey teal and a lot of woodies, man. Oh, the wood ducks. Meow, meow. They're everywhere. Everywhere.
Andrew, Markle, need some options. I have a Remington 7615 and a Browning BLR. The Browning's very nice. I had a Remington 7016. I sold it not long ago. Both in 223. Which one should I convert to 300 blackout? Well, neither. I've shot 300 blackout, and to be honest, I wasn't really that impressed. I'd much rather have a 223 than 300 blackout myself.
They're bringing out all these new calibers even now, like 7
faster.
7 PRC. Like, while they're bringing out a 7 PRC, like, haven't we got enough calibers? Just stop, please. Just stop it. Please.
Stop, Jason. You're sounding a bit like a FUD now.
Yeah, we had the 6.8 Western, the 300 What was that piece of crap round that you shot? That big round nose thing, 350 Legend.
That was garbage.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm still getting fanboy hate comments every week on that video. Go watch it, guys. The 300 blackout I shot. The
350 Legend.
350 Legend. Yeah, it was an absolute piece of garbage. Totally inaccurate. It was awful. It really was. I'm pretty sure it was a Ruger. Used.
Now, we'll read a few more of these. We've got Salty Skippy said Daniel Andrews gets a majority with only 37% of the vote. That means 63% of Victorians gave Dan the boot. Well, exactly. Hey, even worse, if you go to the Federal Labor Party, they got less than 30% of the vote. 70% of Australia, almost 3/4 of the country did not vote for Albanese, yet he's out there crowing he's the Prime Minister of the people. Well, clearly that's not the case because you couldn't even crack 30%. Listen, we are getting more people voting for minor parties, but I just thought over the last 20 or 30 years, that would have increased a lot more than what it is now. So I don't care who you vote for. Just don't vote for the major parties. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Get rid of the preferences.
And he said, quick, everybody at Aaron's joint. I guess he means because you got ducks in the pond.
Yeah, yeah, there's a plague right here of ducks all down my driveway in the dam. Yeah, everywhere.
Ben Wicklesma. Wait until the ducks are overpopulating and they're a pest, then they'll beg hunters to come and basically do something about it. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Salty Skibby said you can get baseball caps with cameras built in. Exactly. Always good to protect yourself, especially if you're on your own.
yeah,
Have some form of evidence, guys. I mean, they're going to always be looking at hunters. Don't speak rude to them. Just ignore them, avoid them. Don't get into any verbal slanging matches with them. They'll try and record you and put it on the internet. Just go about your business. If they start coming too close, you just record them. Try and zoom in. Don't say or do anything. It just sucks. You got to go. I don't know why they're even allowed on a wetland. I'd say, mate, you're on a wetland. You're going to get arrested. That's it. Simple. Done.
yeah. Getting in the way. Causing safety. A safety issue. Hounding people with firearms. A safety issue. Skull and crossbones. 300 blackout with a suppressor is pointless. 100% agree.
Yeah, and Carbon Spider was joining us a bit earlier. He said he was back, and we're back on the stream. So welcome, Carbon Spider.
Yeah.
Who else we got here?
Blunt
Machete, lending a hand on the land goes a long way in getting your foot in the door. Exactly. I've got a lot of good relationships with farmers down on the Riverina, the bunny farm that I shoot on as well. Nice people. My mate got me onto that one, which was great. I miss shooting rabbits, guys. That's probably my second favorite, guys. Long range shooting, busting bunnies from the other side, or the bottom of the hill, shooting up the hill. I really do enjoy that. I'm sure most people would.
Yeah. I love the pest control, especially when there's plagues of them. It's just it's fantastic.
Phil Westling,
get something. Yep.
Phil Westling said Ray-Ban has sunnies with cameras in them. Yeah, you can have a look at those. I mean, like I said, anything that you can just turn on, guys, that will just back you up in if they start making allegations and all that sort of thing. You just record the whole interaction, and if they're not, even if they're not up on you, just start recording long before they start getting around you and stuff like that. That just covers you before, so they don't say something like, "Oh, well, you didn't see what he did before he started recording." You can get all that on camera. And have some fresh batteries too. So if you need to change them, you can change them out quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely do think it's one day, I hate to say it, it could be on its way out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we might wrap it up, Jason. Getting on a bit.
Yeah. Hope everyone's enjoyed coming back in February. There was lots to talk about. We probably went around a little bit, but there's a lot of things to talk about that's happening, and we probably didn't miss a lot of them. I'm sure if we went back to our Facebook pages and scroll back, there'd be a lot of topics that we haven't missed. But there's always plenty of time to realize how we're about how much more screwed we're going to be in 2023. Let's hope not. Let's hope we get a couple of wins on the board, and
exactly.
That's all we can do, man. And start putting pressure on your organisation. Start putting pressure on your political parties that are elected, whether you're in Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. Start putting pressure on about what results they're getting. And if not, why not? Why aren't they getting results? Start asking questions.
Yeah. And if their organisations are not doing anything for their money, for your money, make sure you let it be known. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? We're paying our fees to you. And we'd also like to thank our sponsors for tonight, Browns Plains Firearms. Should have done it earlier, but thank you so much to Browns Plains Firearms, fantastic gun shop here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Please go down and see them and support them. They've supported this channel from the day of inception, basically. They've been with us for over 10 years and helped us achieve a lot. And they are fantastic people, great shop, good prices, and very knowledgeable people in the store as well. And also a big shout out to if you need a genuine reason here in Brisbane, join up to a pistol club. Another supporter of the show is Hillcrest Pistol Club. They are fantastic guys down there. They will cover you for your AB license as well as your handgun license. So, need a genuine reason. I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't waste your time with any organisation. I know I don't. I just belong to the pistol club, private-owned club. They support shooters, and you're supporting a small business, which is also really, really good. So please go and check them out as well, and Browns Plains Firearms. And anything else you want to say, Jason?
Thank you for watching. Welcome to 2023.
Yep, definitely. Thank you so much, guys, for everything. And it's been a fantastic night. And thank you so much, Jason, for coming on. And hope everyone has a good week. And we shall see you very soon. I promise it won't be 2 months this time, but we'll see you very, very soon. Good night and happy shooting.